Okay, so we are in a brand new season ish, quote unquote. Uh, the Dauntless has spent a few days in downtime, kind of getting everything reorganized and repaired and updating security systems, that sort of thing. It's been a hectic few weeks with everything that you all have done. You've managed to stop Sloane's plans. Oh, hello. Who that?
Hey,
Hey,
it's me. I did my final costume test for the vampire event, like with all my accessories under clothes to see how warm it would be. So I
nice.
wanted to finish that up. Incidentally, I look awesome. I'll send you guys a photo, but I should probably get the fangs out of my mouth now. So
It
keep
does
going.
help. Okay, so
Yeah.
continuing the recap, the uh, Dauntless has been spending the last few days kind of repairing from the battle with the Timberwolf, which was ultimately scuttled, and updating its security systems, getting the rest of the fleet to update their security systems. So it's been kind of downtime off camera, but it's been also busy. And while Adam's doing that stuff, I'm just going to mute you real quick because there's a lot of background noise there. Um, but we start this new season and this new episode in the captain's ready room where Bianca is receiving an incoming communique from Deep Space Nine.
And I'll probably be taking it in my ready room.
That's, yup. Your eyes only.
Cool. Who's calling, by the way?
Captain Drake, Starfleet Intelligence.
Aha! Yes, Captain Drake. Captain Drake, what can I do for you?
Captain West, I hope everything has gone well out there in the Carina Nebula sector with our mutual acquaintance.
For now, I'm still missing a Defiant class, which is under cloak.
That's what I understand, but I also understand the shroud is going to be set on its tail if it hasn't been already, so I expect to hear good news about them sooner rather than later.
Well, hopefully.
In any event, Captain, I'm calling because there's another mutual acquaintance of ours who has found his way into your brig.
Yes, so I've been briefed.
And he just kind of gives you this deadpan, like, really look.
It's not my call, but I understand my tactical officer's cautionary reaction, given the information that we knew at the time. Also, were you his contact?
Of course I was his contact.
I figured as much.
So, do yourself and him and me a solid and get him out of there, would you?
It was going to be my first order of business before you called.
Well, in that case, I won't keep you.
All right.
Drake out. And abruptly closes the channel. There is some paperwork that is on your desk as well, Bianca, specifically a promotion order and a reassignment order for one Shiana Darrow.
I'm just going to look over it and just nod and then go back to what I was doing. I was going to the brig.
Okay. And I don't have a brig per se. So we won't change the screen here, but we will change the setting down to the brig, where you find. Oh, hey, Adam.
Yes, sir.
You are generating a lot of background noise, my friend.
All right. I thought you muted me. I'm sorry.
No, I did, but we're about to cut back to a scene that you're in.
Okay. Gotcha. Let me take the rosary off real fast.
Okay.
All right. Am I making a lot of noise right now?
Only when you're talking, so that's good.
Oh, okay. You know what? It might be the headset. Let me disconnect and do the wired headset. That's probably going to sound a million times better.
Okay,
So
go
give me a
ahead.
second.
Let us know when you're ready.
Sienna's leaving?
No.
Okay, I got very confused.
Well, the Dauntless needs a first officer.
Sienna's getting promoted!
Can we hear me? Hello.
Yes, and you're right. That
Million
does sound
times
better. Yeah.
Yeah, it's the wireless, and also it doesn't help. I'm wearing a shitty collared shirt, and you know what? I'll just send you guys a picture of what the hell I was wearing, so you guys can wonder. Maybe.
Okay.
Yeah, there you go. That is literally all the crap I was just wearing on Discord. Like, and I have thermals and all that underneath it. I was just doing the final run of it.
Oh dear God.
Yeah, that's right.
Anyway.
Yeah.
You're in the brig.
Oh, okay, yeah, now I'm in the brig outside of Punk Outfit. Gotcha, cool. All right. So I assume, because hell, they gave, at least in Enterprise era, they gave Dr. Sung like books and shit. So I'm reading a physical book.
Mm-hmm.
And probably been taken out of my Starfleet uniform because it seems like I'm pretty good at breaking shit.
Well, it's been a few days, so they would have given you clothing.
Yeah,
just not a comm badge.
Yeah, I probably look like Q in that annoying gray outfit they put everyone in. Yeah. So yeah.
Bianca's just going to wave out. She's just going to lift up her hand and kind of just gesture with her fingers, just very slightly, for the guards to step outside or dismiss the guards.
Okay. The guard pauses for a moment because it seems a little irregular, but being the ship's captain, you are the next closest thing to God on the Dauntless. So the security officer steps out, and you find yourself alone with Rai Turkev and one brig force field.
Commander, have you been
Captain.
enjoying your day?
I will say the food could have been better. I didn't get to cook it myself this time.
Well, and Bianca just deactivates the force field, and she goes, "You can get back to it," but she holds up a finger.
Yes, Captain?
First of all, I want to apologize.
There is no need for an apology, Captain. I refused a direct order from a superior officer. Unfortunately, I had orders from other superiors that contradicted it, and the commander made the best decision she could at the time. So, he says with his wiry smile, "This is where I belong."
Bianca just kind of like gives a grin. She says, "Well, and I told her not to trust you, because I didn't trust you. Not at the time. And I should know better. Because I know if you wear that uniform, no matter where you come from or who you are, you've given the same oath that I have. And I saw things that I'm sure were out of context. But at the same time, trust does go both ways. I do need you to be more forthright with me in the future.
Captain, I will be as forthright with you as I can, he says with a wiry smile. But since now a little bit of the cat is out of the bag, and you know of my past with Starfleet intelligence, and you may continue to be curious of our continuing relationship, I will do my best to be as useful to the ship and to the Federation as I can be.
I believe every word of it. And
I will say, Captain, everything that I say, out of everything that I say, if there's something you can trust completely, it is that last statement. But I will make no promises about future ones, he says with a smile.
well,
But I will not risk the safety of the Federation and unduly risk the safety of this crew.
well, when you're contacted by suspected Section 31 agents, I do expect to know about it. They do not operate within the same set of rules that we do. And frankly, I don't trust them. They don't wear uniform.
I will do my best to comply with your request, with your order, Captain. And if I don't, you can I indicate back to the brig. You can always save a room for me.
Well, I hope that won't be necessary. And by the way, Commander, I knew who your contact is.
Captain, you may suspect, know, a great many things, but what I will admit to is a very separate thing. As someone, as you know now, who has a background with intelligence, sometimes protecting your source has a great deal of impact on everyone.
That I understand. But if the source comes from within the Federation, or those that claim to be acting in the interests of the Federation, I will find out. So you might as well tell me.
Well, Captain, considering the fact that my connection, current, previous, or potentially in the future, dealings with clandestine operations, there are things I cannot tell you. But if you find out other ways, I can't stop you. After all, it's not like you're psychic or anything.
And Bianca just kind of tilts her head like, I know what you're saying. But she goes, Commander, make no mistake. You are not under the command of Starfleet intelligence on this vessel. You are under my command.
I believe that is something that Starfleet intelligence would potentially disagree with, but your statement is valid.
If you're working for Starfleet intelligence, then why are you on this ship? We're not under the command of Starfleet intelligence.
You know, Captain, that's a question I ask myself quite frequently. But, to say to you again, anything that comes out of my mouth, if that you may trust with 100% certainty, is that I will not unduly jeopardize the ship or the safety of the Federation. I will not do that. So if someone asks me to do those things, regardless of whatever organization they come from, I will not listen, and you will be the first to know. Unless, of course, it is you that has asked me to do such. But, while I may not agree with every decision you make, Captain, I suspect you have the best of intentions.
I try, at least.
Don't we all?
So we have an understanding.
Yes, Captain. We understand each other.
And Bianca just kind of steps out of the way. Man, your post.
Thank you, Captain. With permission, may I get a shower? The sonic shower in the brig is not exactly the most private.
Go ahead. You're free to go to your quarters, unaccosted.
Oh. Thank you, Captain. See you on the bridge.
Of course. And so Bianca is going to go to the first officer's office. Or actually, no, the bridge.
Okay.
Is Shiana on the bridge?
I would imagine so, unless she has said she's somewhere else. Kate,
Yeah,
you there?
sure.
Okay.
Yeah, Shanna's on the bridge.
And Bianca is going to go up to the bridge then. Sorry, brain farted.
It happens. Okay. You disembarked from the turbolift onto the bridge.
And Bianca goes, Commander Darrow.
Yes, Captain?
You were out of uniform.
Shanna looks very puzzled and looks down at herself. Ma'am?
And Bianca just smirks. And from her sleeve, she pulls a silver pip. I'm afraid it's official. Commander.
Oh.
And she just goes up to her and takes the black pip off and puts the silver pip on.
Well, thank you, Captain. I will try not to disappoint.
And she just kind of like, Bianca just kind of like, she grins and then she puts, and then she kind of like gestures with her head over to the ready room, kind of indicating for you to follow her.
Shanna nods and follows.
And Bianca settles behind her desk. And she says, so I let Lieutenant or Commander Cherkev out of the brig.
Shanna tilts her head. Well, it was probably about time. Did you get any more information from him?
I didn't need to get any information from him. I know who his source was.
And is that something you can share?
Captain, and she makes the air quotes with her fingers, Drake, on board DS9.
Oh. Well, that makes sense.
Drake is also an own Section 31 operative. A high-ranking one, if my sense of what's going on is correct. He's the one that told me that this holographic Sloan had nothing to do with Section 31.
So you trust him as a source up to a point.
Exactly. And with Commander Trukev's background, I understand his not wanting to name sources. Varric can't name sources to me sometimes.
Well, it being inside the Federation does make it a little bit different, but, well, inside Starfleet.
Section
But
31 operates outside of Starfleet. They claim to act in the best interest of the Federation, but
it is difficult to know, isn't it? God,
indeed.
they're slippery bastards.
Yeah, they are. But all the same, no matter where it comes from, the intelligence that Commander Trukev obtains is useful and actionable.
It was useful intelligence, and I will continue to use whatever information he offers, but also remain skeptical, as always, of anything.
He wears the uniform. He's taken the same oath that we have. And I should have trusted him more than I did, but I've told him he needs to be more straight with me, in particular.
Then I will follow your lead on this, Captain.
With that, not only are you being promoted, but you are being reassigned dual role ship's tactical officer and first officer.
Are you okay?
Yep, nope, Shiana's not okay. First officer?
Afraid so. Bianca has a stack of pads that's like kind of on the corner of her desk, pushed out of the way, and she just pushes them over to Shiana.
The first thing you're gonna do to me is bury me in paperwork?
Bianca just shrugs and she goes, "Welcome to the club."
God damn it. Pardon, ma'am. Oh!
And Shiana, that's when you remember that in his brief stint as first officer, Yolan had actually programmed something that might be able to assist you in the paperwork department. But with that, we will swap out to the hydroponics bay, which is where we currently find Dauntless, just kind of ruminating. And Dauntless, maybe give us a little bit of background as to what's going on there.
So, I imagine it's off duty when she's off duty, and she's kind of milling back and forth between the various rows and examining each like flower or plant or what have you very closely, and then taking notes on a pad and then moving on to the next one and doing the same thing, but like with a manner of fondness.
Mm-hmm.
And she there's also a small section off to the side where it looks like she's trying to do some sort of experiment.
Mm-hmm.
and it looks like some sort of, or it like there's schematics of and like a small hologram of like the breakdown genetically, and then like it flickers to like what the plan is supposed to look like once it like grows.
Yeah. So a little bit of experimentation going on here.
Yeah, she's being a nerd with plants.
That's cool. We love nerds in all stripes. It's fairly quiet in the hydroponics bay, and that's not an abnormal thing, Duffley, but you do feel like it would be better to have, like, this is an experience that you almost feel would be better shared. And then as you're thinking along that line, you just almost hear whispers in the corner of your mind.
So like it's not like an like, do I know it's in my head, or does it seem like real? Like, does it seem like someone's in the room with me, or is it more of a
No, it just seems like something that's echoing in the back of your mind. It's indistinct.
Yeah.
But feels familiar.
Cool. Do I feel in distress in any way, or is it just this noise?
It's just background. It's just above background noise.
I will tap my combat. Centurion Dauntless to Captain.
To who?
Captain West. But it's like kind of slurred out.
Captain West here.
Captain, can you come to the hydroponics bay?
Are you all right?
I am uncertain.
What am I getting telepathically?
Dully?
Probably just what on earth is that? Various, like, recitations of plant genus.
Okay.
And I don't know if you would also hear the voices, but if you hear those, you hear them.
I'm on the bridge now, just as a note.
Okay.
And Bianca's gonna be, and she'll say, I'm on my way.
So what happens there is, Rye, you are getting onto the bridge just as Bianca stands up. The two of you kind of pass, ships passing in the night. Shienna takes the center chair as Bianca takes the turbo lift. And a few moments later, Bianca, you're in hydroponics.
I will give a wiry smile and nod to the commander, and I will follow that up later, but just making a note.
Yep.
Captain. And you can see that Dahley is, like, almost distracted.
What is it?
Do you hear that?
I don't know, do I?
You could hear something just sort of toward the back of Dahley's consciousness. If you want to try and focus on it, it will be a control command roll with a difficulty of... Yeah, sure.
A difficulty of yikes.
I'm away from the
A difficulty of
right
2.
Second, give me
Oh, no worries.
My mind's not that easy to read.
If you would like me to increase the difficulty, definitely just let me know.
I would say 3 for this.
Okay, we'll go with 3 then.
I have Romulan training. I'm surprised that there isn't a Romulan trait similar to Kolinar. Then again, Romulans haven't
Romulans
officially
don't have
been
that
released
kind of
as a
mental
class.
discipline. Yeah, I mean
I
they're
renamed-
canny, but
They're
I
not.
renamed constantly watching Way of the Dara. Like that was kind of.
Yeah.
I mean, mechanically, like it should do the same thing, but I just sometimes when I do that, I'm like, that it captures more of the essence.
Mhm.
Yeah, same mechanics.
Yeah.
But,
It's just like the idea of, I guess, not necessarily having like psychic shielding, but just like I want to say like mental discipline.
Are the Romulans even statted as player characters? Because I don't think I've seen them. Like the Klingons have been.
Not per
but I don't
se,
think
no,
I've seen-
because the
Yeah.
the Star Trek Adventures is set canonically in the DS9 era, when
Yeah.
Romulans were definitely not part of the Federation.
So
I agree. I just feel like as they've used
Yeah.
sidebars for other
Yeah.
characters, like why hasn't there been a sidebar?
I think there is for like Romulan like and major like I was gonna say NPCs, but
Yeah,
Yeah,
there
they're not-
are some Romulan NPCs further back in the book, and that's what I've used as a template for Romulan player characters.
I think I took the Vulcan background, just whatever,
Yeah,
Romulan trait,
it works.
pick an advantage.
Anyway,
is she
we
back?
don't have- Sorry, I was in the kitchen putting dishes away. I didn't want the clacking to be distracting y'all.
no
That's
worries.
okay.
We don't have any momentum.
Correct.
I'm gonna give you a threat,
Okay.
No.
unless people don't want me to.
No, I'm teasing.
Boo.
Okay. 2 successes. It's like the echo of a whisper, Bianca. There's
Oh shit! I forgot to roll with
your what?
composure focus.
Oh.
It
Wouldn't
was
have
it was
would
an
not have
18
mattered.
Wouldn't have mattered
anyway.
anyway. Oh yeah, I'm seeing that now too. Okay.
It's like the echo of a whisper, though. It's the more you strain, the less you can hear it. But part of you is sensing there's something like at a bare minimum, Dahli isn't hearing things, if that makes sense.
Right.
Like Dahli's not hallucinating. You can tell that much.
Yeah, I hear it too. I mean, I don't hear it. I hear it in your mind.
Is it possible we've come across some sort of psychic phenomena or spatial distortion?
I mean, this area of space is weird. I'm not going to discount it. But I haven't looked at any of the telemetry that we've collected lately.
Would you mind escorting me to sickbay?
Of course. And they make their way to sickbay.
All right. Let's do that.
Captain, are you aware of any strange reports within the last 36 hours?
Nothing overly strange. Why?
It feels odd to say this, but I have a hunch.
A hunch.
Well, if I'm picking up some sort of psychic interference, as it were, perhaps it's because I have some sort of remnants of my implants are capable of picking up something that the rest of the crew that has not gone through the process is capable of.
It's possible. I'm also going to have a scan done for any Borg activity. I doubt it here, but they've shown up here before.
I just worry that if I am picking something up in some phantom possibility, it's a distressing thought.
Agreed. I'll get back up to the bridge.
Captain, just in case, and I will grab a pad and type something in. These focuses for Commander Rye's scan may help detect some sort of anomaly.
All right, yeah, I'll give this to him.
And I'm gonna start performing scans on myself.
Okay.
All right, and then I'm gonna head back up to the bridge.
All right. I'm going to stick in sickbay here for a little bit longer.
Oh, good.
And Dathli, let's have you start doing some scanning. Are you focused on anything in particular?
I'm looking at well, first of all, do I feel do I feel any different, like, noticeably? Like, I don't feel like, other than hearing the strange noise, I feel like I don't feel sick, I don't feel dizzy, I don't feel hot, I don't feel cold, like.
Give me a difficulty 0 insight medicine check.
Oh, good. How is my own body feeling?
And how well are you listening to it?
Mm-hmm. I don't have xenobiology on myself, so.
Correct.
Hey.
But it is difficulty 0, and that was kind of a momentum generator for you, Gal. So 2 successes. You basically do what you would have thought of as a self-diagnostic, and you don't appear to be running a fever. You appear to be in good health, physically and mostly mentally. Twisting your wrist downward, your left wrist, triggers a shooting pain in your forearm muscle, though. And if you're saying something, I couldn't hear it.
Is this the arm with the enhancement on it?
Yes.
Okay. I'm alone in sickbay, right?
Yes.
I will begin dismantling the enhancement.
Okay.
Just to, like, see if, like, maybe something is malfunctioning underneath and that's what's causing the pain.
Okay. Let's have you give me a reason medicine roll this time. And the difficulty is going to be 3.
Ooh, bad. Do I have a focus for that?
Yes, your neurology focus is going to apply. And because you're in sickbay, I will let the Dauntless roll computers medicine.
Okay. I'm gonna take an extra dice.
Okay.
Wow!
Oof.
Oof, indeed.
Never
Wow.
mind.
Wow. Well, that's very consistent with the mysteriousness, I guess.
Yeah, I'm just like, the hell?
Okay, so we're gonna play out this complication. Um, you you start working on the cybernetic portions of the arm, and as you are doing so, as you are like starting to undo the connectors, you realize the connectors are in the wrong places. Like your arm feels wrong somehow.
Ooh, 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 bad.
Touching one of the connectors, two tubes come jabbing out of the top of your wrist.
Ooh, bad. Okay. Immediately check for signs of, is this a dream? Am I having a panic attack?
Okay, what would you be looking for?
Like to see, like literally, I guess the first thing would be like try to wake up, which I don't think is a.
Okay, give me an insight command roll.
Oh, good.
And I'm going to set the
Don't mind
difficulty.
me just hallucinating in
The difficulty here I am setting at 1.
Good. Okay. Neurology focus.
Mm-mm. No focus here.
Okay, that time, fucking.
When I hear things like that, that's when I wish my girlfriend was here so I could be like, do you think neurology would help you detect Borg incursions? For her to look at me with a blank face. Like, what the fuck are you talking about?
We are going to swap back out to the bridge for a moment, making note of your success.
Oh, good.
Meanwhile, Bianca Dahli is uncustomarily late for her shift. Also, just from a player knowledge standpoint, you've been on the bridge consulting with Shienna.
Mm-hmm.
Wait,
And
sorry,
dry,
repeat.
hopefully.
Have I been given the information that our Borg doctor is suddenly like scan for Borg shit in the sector because I'm feeling unwell? Because my paranoid ass is gonna have fun with that.
No, that is not information that you have because the captain has been in her ready room this entire time.
Oh, she has? I thought there was a thing given to me to scan.
No, I gave it to the captain to give to you.
Yeah, like what? Why would I would go up straight up to the bridge and give it to Rai.
If that had actually happened.
Oh, fuck you, Dom. How much of that was fake? God damn.
Noise. I love it.
Oh my god.
See, this is when, if I was playing a vampire game, I'd be sending the players contradictory evidence of what's happening via text. I'm just saying.
So, Dahli, you wake up with a start as your communicator badge is chirping, and the captain is trying to reach you.
Hello?
Dahli, is everything all right? I just noticed that you're late for your shift. That's not usual for you.
Captain? And I will, like, look at my clock, because I imagine I have, like, an old actual...
Yeah, like an antique clock.
Yeah. My apologies. I apparently
No worries. I just wanted to make sure you're all right.
Yes, my apologies for the intrusion, and it won't happen again.
No, we're all allowed to be organic.
I will be at my station as soon as I am capable.
Of course. Let me know if you have any trouble. And what am I saying telepathically? Like,
Say that again, Sarah?
what am I sensing telepathically?
Distress. Dahlia is very out of sorts. And there's evidence to indicate that she may have been in the midst of a nightmare when you were trying to calm her.
And that's
you
kind of
feel
how
the lingering webs of a nightmare.
Right. And she goes, and that's why she goes, let me know if you need anything. West out.
Go ahead and give me an insight command roll too, though, Bianca.
Sure.
And I'm going to set the difficulty here at 2.
Kai.
Also, please just imagine this usually buttoned up person, like, freaked out and, like, hair everywhere and sweaty.
I'm just gonna nab a momentum for cautious.
Okay.
Aha.
4 successes. Nicely done.
Ooh, good job.
Behind the cobwebs in the back of Dahli's consciousness, you could hear some sort of whispers, just faint background, almost like a background noise, and you think Dahlia herself may not even have been aware of it, or if she did, maybe it was in her dream, maybe it was an artifact of the nightmare.
So, given the time that we spent in the Borg simulation,
Mm-hmm.
would I kind of like, but would Bianca just kind of like make that association?
Given that you as a player remembers this, I will say yes.
Okay.
Like, it is faintly reminiscent, but far, far quieter. Like, far less intrusive. Like, in the Borg simulation, the voices occupied the entirety of your mind. They didn't allow you the room for your own thoughts. Here, they were almost invisible. Almost inaudible, rather.
Right. But, like, Bianca's still going to make the associations.
Mm-hmm. Because there is that kind of pseudo-mechanical ring to it. You realize, given the number of successes that you got on the roll.
And Bianca's just going to just casually get up and go over to the science station.
Where Raya is presently located.
Right.
Captain, is there something I can help you with?
Right, yeah. I know this sounds weird.
I am already very intrigued, Captain. Continue.
Can you scan for Borg signatures?
Absolutely.
Out of the ordinary.
Okay. And while Adam is logging into Roll20, I will be
quietly,
right back.
She says this quietly because she doesn't want to, like, make people go, Borg? Why is she asking about Borg? Like,
gotcha. Me being an absolute, not totally a former spy, totally doesn't catch on to this.
I'll be right back, y'all.
Yeah, she's being super cash about it. Like,
ma'am,
like, hey,
when your character walks up to me like, "Hey, Rye," if I'm like, "All right, you're either gonna ask me out or you need me to do something shady." Oh, okay. I'm like, oh, all right. That's a lot less awkward. Cool.
Meanwhile, Dahlia is experiencing a really bad morning. You know, like when you wake up from one of those depression naps That's what she's doing right now.
Yeah.
She's a mess. Like, she came in sick to work today. Like, fuck this. My hair can just go in this bun.
Okay.
I'm gonna
I'll
wear
have to-
yesterday's makeup.
Probably gonna have to have him change my sheet if he hasn't done already. Let me
Oh,
check.
oh, that's right, because you made changes with your smiles.
Yeah, 2 changes, and I talked to him about a custom talent.
It looks like roll
Which-
20 crapped out while I was away.
It is being slow here.
Oh, good, cool. That was.
Yeah, and
Did you-
it's showing
don't-
Adam as the only one in here besides me, and the big red error message. So let me log out and log back in real fast.
Yeah, I'm
No,
gonna
it's
try
not.
reloading.
Yeah, I'm checking my sheet, and it's being slow. We'll see if this
Site may have
helps.
had a hiccup.
You may also have to like close out and come back in, Adam.
Yeah, you're right. I'm the only one in here. So let me see where's the out.
And the rest of you will have to log back in.
Oh, it's reloading here. Let me see that.
There we go. I can see
There
you
we
all.
go. I see everyone else now.
Okay.
So, all right.
Who just dropped?
Well, people are coming back in.
Oh.
Did you note the changes to my sheet?
I think so. I'm pretty. Yeah,
Alright.
I did.
Okay, cool. I've got my version of the sheet on. Here, I'm gonna see. It's taking it a little bit to load.
App.roll20.net says error, unable to find character to edit.
Good, cool. Hey, don't you love when the game says no?
So,
So-
guess what we are going to do here, y'all. We're going to punt over to. I have everyone's character sheets loaded up on the Trello webpage.
Mm-hmm.
Oh wait, it's working now.
Oh, here we go.
Slowly,
me.
yeah. There we go. Okay.
I still can't see my sheet, but I see the 10 forward / somebody's bedroom. So you know.
Yeah, that
Rise
is
ready
definitely
for his
somebody's
romance.
bedroom.
Yeah. I'm not seeing the sheet though.
But we can just do R/R for now instead of clicking.
Oh, nope. I'm loading. There's my picture.
Wait for it.
There we go. Okay.
For the
Wait
for the
for it.
recording.
We
For the
have-
It's
recording.
gonna be legend.
Gotcha.
For the
Five,
recording.
5 years later, Derry.
Yeah. My question for you, good Sir GM, I
Mhm.
sent you that custom trait. Did you like that, or should I pick something new?
Let's try it tonight.
Okay, that's fine. So I'm gonna post it to the group
As a
just 'cause
talent.
yeah, a talent. That's what I mean. Yeah, I just like everyone knowing.
Mhm.
Because this isn't, even though I'm being shady, I kind of like, everyone should know what my stats say.
But basically for 2-threat, Commander Turkev can get a MacGuffin.
Yeah, the way I see it is, if you've ever seen Ocean's 11 or Leverage, there's like, I can spend a threat to I can give threat to make a roll that I totally did earlier, if it made sense. Like, oh yeah, like if I'm playing cards with the captain, I can spend threat and be like, yeah, I totally, did some cool.
Oh, like changing the narrative. That like in the TPD RPG.
Yeah, exactly.
With the story point.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So essentially, I spend threat. Apparently, the ST once, which is fine. My caveat would be, and we can discuss if I spend a determination, well, then I create an advantage anyway. So that's okay.
Right.
So as long as it makes sense / story for me to have done this, like bumped into someone, pickpocketed them, or whatever, I can make the roll retroactively.
I have an important question.
Okay.
Is the talent called Mr. Magoo? Because if not,
I put it down as cunning, referencing the line from Star Trek 6 where he puts the Viridian patch when they tell Dr. McCoy, he goes, "Why that cunning little Vulcan?" So that's why. So that's what I call it, is cunning, whatever we want to rename it as. But anyway, sorry, cool.
No,
so
that's
that's
okay.
there. I don't need to do that right now because there's no reason I would have specced the shit out while I was in the brig.
Right. No, and you wouldn't have had the opportunity regardless.
Yeah. Cool. I just want to know if it was there or if I had to pick something else. So it does look like my sheet is up to date because
Yep.
There you go. I've never fly anything, so there we go. All right, so I will totally scan. First thing I'll do, since the captain didn't tell me that the doctor is having worries, I'm going to scan outside the ship. Once failing that, then I will do an internal scan.
Okay.
But step one would be outside.
All right. So since you are scanning, I'm sorry. Go ahead, Steph.
Is it possible that after we cut away to Bianca, I do a quick thing?
Yes.
In conjunction with Rise?
Yeah. So we'll do Rise first scan here first, and then Steph, whatever you'd like to do, we'll do that, and then that may affect what Rye does afterwards. So we'll take kind of one step at a time. But Rye, this is going to be reason science.
Yes, sir.
Sorry, I'm just visualizing it.
I assume applies.
Yes, sensor operations will apply. The base difficulty for this is going to be 2. More successes may reveal more information.
I'm going to spend 1 momentum to get an additional die roll.
Okay.
Yeah, just because. I do have technical expertise, so I will get the re-roll, but since the captain said to me, potentially the Borg, I'm putting all my effort into
There's
this
an
here.
extra level of seriousness, of gravitas here. Yeah.
Yes,
who would like to roll for Dauntless?
Ooh, 3 successes and the Dauntless.
I'm not rolling for the ship, guys. No.
I can do it.
Kate's like, nope, not happening. Okay, so Sarah's going to roll for the Dauntless. It'll be sensors science.
Yeah. I will absolutely take that 5 successes.
Yeah, heck yeah.
Money right there. Yeah, so first things first, what pops up on the L card before I worry about... So you said the difficulty was 2?
The base difficulty was 2. With 5 successes, you all are maxed. And
cool.
Are able to scan the better part of the... basically, you say, okay, Captain...
There's a reason they let me out of the brig.
Scan, and... in a matter of moments, the Dauntless's sensors are sweeping most of the Carina Nebula sector, except for the densest parts of the nebula. Unable to find anything in the sector itself, but you think you may have found a ping about 1,000 light years on the opposite side of the Carina Nebula.
I will spend a point of... Go ahead.
It's like one of those situations like in the old submarine movies where, is that a submarine or is that just like a bubble? But
so I will give the captain the preliminary report. There's nothing within 999 light years, but there's something suspicious over here, and I'll point on the L car, and then I'll zoom in and spend the point of momentum for extra information or obtain information.
Not necessary.
What is this? Okay, cool.
Because your first obtained information spend is free.
Oh, cool.
Cost 0
right,
momentum.
Because I'm the chief science officer.
So what would you like to know?
What is this? My question is, what is the thing that's causing the ping? Or if you would prefer me to modify it, I will.
Zooming in, it does appear to be a previously uncharted Borg matrix.
But now that you mention it, Captain, it appears, I'm going to say this quite quietly, appears that there may be, and I'll create a text message to not cause any panic. There might be something suspicious over in this quadrant, and while I'm coming up with some bullshit,
And
like, oh, and then type it out like, this may be a Borg matrix over in this sector.
and for the benefit of Steph, like just imagine zooming the Dauntless's scanners zooming in over 1,000 light years, something that a ship of the previous generation just would not have been able to do. But
again, there's a reason she let me out of the.
With Rye at the controls, the Dauntless has been able to basically find a nickel on the dark side of the moon.
That's dope.
Yeah. There's a reason we let me out of the brig.
Yeah. So
we let you out of the brig sometimes, you know.
So Steph, what action were you going to do?
So like congruent with what he's scanning, I am scanning both internally and externally, if I can, for Borg signatures as well as temporal distortions.
Okay.
And like hidden, like using like hidden algorithms that I would know as a former hive mind.
Okay. So I'm gonna make this
like trying to. Sorry,
no. Go ahead.
Redefine.
Go ahead.
Trying to like edit the sensors to specifically look for this, like these sequences, because I know how Borg would hide. If that makes sense.
It does make a certain amount of sense. I'm going to do this as a reason security scan roll for your scan. I'm going to set the difficulty at 3, but reduce it by 1 to 2, because the Dauntless is going to assist with sensor security.
Okay, would my survival focus work for this?
No, not for this.
Oh, not for this. Oh,
if you,
I love how you phrase that.
But your genetics focus will.
Oh, cool. Okay. And may I take a momentum with it?
I mean, you're maxed. You may as well.
All right. I am including myself in this scan.
Okay. Bianca, are you rolling for Dauntless again?
Yeah, I can roll for Dauntless again.
Okay.
Also, I added the proto text of my
sensor security
so everyone can see.
Ooh. Yeah, because Dauntless is basically like, she's doing the same thing she did last time she had a nightmare, because it also had to do with like becoming a Borg again. So she's doing like, is this okay? Like going through like the motions of like trying to calm herself down, which is why, like, because she doesn't necessarily think it's Borg. She's just like doing it because last time it made her feel better.
So, scanning for Borg, knowing how Borg would hide themselves, you only find yourself. You're the only ping on that radar. Given that you are looking for life signs, yes?
And ships.
And ships. Okay. Rye had the ships covered.
Okay.
When you attempt to scan, when you attempt the exterior scan, the ship's computers basically return an error message that the ship's sensors are already in use.
Okay. So yeah, I will just kind of huff out a breath, and then make a call to Pierce to meet me in medical, because I'm concerned.
Of course, Dolly. I'm on my way.
So what Bianca is going to do, given the information that Rye has given her, she's going to alert the other ships.
Okay.
In the
task force, yep.
In the task force, just kind of like on the down low, like
captain to captain, kind of.
Yeah, not like let's all go to yellow alert, but like let's all go to like pre-yellow alert.
Like, this came up on the long-term scans, just FYI, daily traffic report.
Right. Now, Rye, something that you would know given your expertise as a science officer and the mathematical skill of your mind, even at their top speed, it would still take the Borg several days to make it to the Carina Nebula from that matrix, and that's assuming they were inclined to do so.
Gotcha. So, from what I learned is, it's strange to me why the captain is asking me to look for this, and I find.
Yeah, basically.
Gotcha. Captain, is there any reason you have taken such an interest in such a minute detail, given the sector?
Just intuition, Commander.
Captain, since I know a little bit about how your intuition operates, is there anything further you wish to let me know? Because I promise I can keep a secret.
Of that I am very certain. But
Fucking lie.
something's not right with Centurion Dolly. I'm not sure.
And as she mentions that, I will continue to look at her, and I'm going to run a sensor sweep internally to look for anything out of ordinary, specifically just actually Borg and out of ordinary in the ship.
Okay.
Although if I and Bianca kind of sees what you're doing, she goes, "If I know Dolly, she's already made an internal sweep."
Yeah. As you're attempting that, Rye, you get an error message that the sensors are already, the ship's internal security sensors are currently in use.
I will just me being paranoid, I will just double check. If I get the readout and it says, "Damn, this was pretty good," I won't do it again. Like, my character
Okay.
double checks it because I'm paranoid. I don't need to roll again. You know, like, I bring up the sensor scan. If I look at it like, seems like a professional son of a bitch did this.
Looking
I
at
don't do anything
Dauntless'
else.
results, Dauntless scanned the ship for temporal anachronisms, basically, and for Borg signatures. And the only Borg signature she picked up was her.
Gotcha. I will specifically program, if I can, the thing to alert me if any of those like parameters change.
Gotcha. Yeah.
So if a temporal thing pops up or thing pops up.
Gotcha.
So I can roll for that, or you just say as the GM that happens. It's up to you.
No, won't need to roll for it, I don't think. That's a fairly staple precaution, and the Dauntless already has some internal sensors that will like ping if you all get a visitor from another universe.
Yeah. I'm making sure all that shit's working. Like,
okay.
I'm doing my thing.
Gotcha.
And if it's already done, we can skip the dice rolls.
But if you want to set up an alert specifically for Borg, I will let you all do that. You have a floating momentum, and in addition to the 6 that you're maxed out with.
Oh, well then, then we'll take a momentum.
Okay.
And we'll take an extra momentum, and let's just put, I would put heightened internal sensors, I'd like to call the advantage.
Okay, got it.
If that's all right with everyone, I think that's focused and broad enough that
don't scan for my character's family. No, don't. Stop.
I mean, I don't know what the hell she's talking about.
And
and maybe let the first officer / security officer know that you're doing this.
Right now, the captain's being clandestine about it. Yeah, the captain's being clandestine about it, and I am totally okay with enabling her paranoia.
Basically, just kind of slipping this information to the senior staff and the captains of the other task force ships. Just kind of like I don't know, but I don't like this. Like,
That's
Gotcha. Cool. Okay, yeah.
Just like,
it's
hey, we've got this ping. Like, it's 1,000 light years from here.
yeah.
But we got this ping, like, of a previously unknown.
It's still important to notice.
Yeah.
Right, of a previously unknown Borg Unimatrix. Like, not a big deal.
In response to that, Bianca, you get a communication back from the USS Marigold Ross.
One of the Oberths.
No, one of the nebulas.
Oh, okay.
There is a they'll keep an eye out for that, but in the meantime, they have spotted something peculiar headed toward the former Ciatina homeworld.
Excuse you.
Not Borg, Veludin and Ciatina.
So, Falutin and Ciatina. Okay. So, tell them to go check it out because I don't want, like, Dauntless is like a big dick in a locker room. Like, when we roll up, people go, what?
We'll watch the big guy. You check that out.
Like, I'm kind of like, I kind of want to know what's going on there before I, like, roll out the big dick in the locker room.
That's fair.
And the nebulas have very advanced sensors platforms as well, so fine. But
the Marigold Ross is assigned to the defense of that system, so that's why they are alerting you.
Right. It's just like if it's the Ciatina and the Veludin, like what's left of the Ciatina and the Veludin, like
that's and they send a request for visual comms.
Wait.
No. The Marigold Ross does. Sorry.
Oh. I just have a quick question because you threw these names at me, and I can't remember if we've encountered them before or if this is just track.
Yeah, so the Ciatina are the ones with the Omega technology, and they're
right
destroyed by the ISS Dauntless.
Yep.
And the Veludin are the race that kind of exist outside time.
Right. Ooh, they're together. That's That's not. Anyway. Thank you. My brain is.
Yep.
I think I know where this is going. Like, and Bianca thinks she knows where this is going, but she kind of wants more. Just them colluding together. Like, she doesn't think that warrants rolling out the big dick in the locker room. You know what I mean? Like,
right.
From a diplomatic standpoint. Like, hey, what are you doing? I'm the big Dauntless police. You know, like, no, I'm not going to do that.
There is something to note here, however. Both the Ciatina and the Veludin are being accompanied by colony-sized ships.
That's unusual. Yeah, tell the Marigold to get more readings and scan for temporal anomalies. Beyond the lookout for temporal anomalies.
Almost a given with the Veludin, but aye.
It could also
but I want to know more information before I roll Dauntless out there.
It could just be them repopulating after the thing, right? Because like there were some surviving outer.
Right, that's the thing. I said, but with the Veludin, they could be trying to undo the whole thing. But I think our priority right now needs to still be trying to track down the Valiant. Until that becomes a bigger issue.
I'm not there.
Okay, that's right. well, Bianca's internal thought process is like unless and until that becomes a bigger issue, like right now we're searching for the Valiant.
I'm having an existential crisis. Don't mind me.
Yeah, we understand you're having
Dolly's
existential
down in the sick bay. Like, what is life even?
Why do brain do?
Right?
But she is gonna talk to Pierce about that, and I would at some point like to make some separate roles just for
Okay.
Dolly's comfort.
Let's
because-
hop back down to sick bay if you're cool with that.
Sure.
And so, Dr. Pierce having come down to sick bay, so what's going on, Dolly? You didn't sound, well, you sounded stressed.
I have had several nightmares in the past few weeks, and while I know it is a common response to trauma and the brain processing said trauma, the contents of the dream, while unsurprising, are troubling.
Do you care to talk about it more?
I keep dreaming of being reassimilated without my knowledge, which I am aware of is a common response to what happened to me. However, part of me is uncertain if it is nightmares or if it's something happening to me.
Well, back in the 21st century, doctors would sometimes do an electrocardiogram or an electroencephalogram to try and get a better feel for what was going on inside a patient's mind. We've evolved a little bit past that, of course, but a more in-depth mental analysis might be helpful.
I concur. The interesting thing is, every time it happens, I find myself constantly scanning for signatures, cloaked vessels, any change in crew manifest if someone has been reported missing.
That's, frankly, a very rational response to have. After all, if I recall medical case studies correctly, Jean-Luc Picard had nightmares about the Borg just before the Battle of Sector 001, so there's a precedent for these dreams being, well, timed well, I guess, for lack of a better word.
Perhaps.
Prescient.
It just the potential correlation causation belief is.
If it would help the academic part of your mind, this will certainly help us get to the bottom of that.
Agreed. Sometimes I just find myself fighting with my. After all, I don't want to constantly trouble the captain every time I have a bad dream.
Dudley, let me be the first to assure you the captain is not troubled by the concerns of any member of this crew. She's highly compassionate and certainly has time for her senior staff. But let's see what we can find on a medical scan here. If I'll just have you sit back here on the bio bed.
Hop up on the bio bed.
Okay. Let's see. What shall his difficulty be? Alright, I'm going to set his difficulty at 3 here. But because it's in sickbay, I'm going to let the Dauntless assist. It's going to be computer's medicine if someone would like to roll that.
Sure.
And he's going to do reason medicine.
Oh.
That should have been with a focus, but it's not going to matter. All right.
Good.
Yeah, I'm going to play this one. Dudley, as he's conducting the medical scan, he kind of gets close enough, and you have this intrusive thought.
Good.
Assimilate him.
Oh.
I
do my best to ignore it.
What's that?
I'm gonna do my best to ignore it.
Okay, so let's do 2 rolls here. The first
Oh, good.
is going to be a, let's call it control security.
Okay.
And this one is going to be opposed, but I'm not going to tell you who is opposing it.
Oh,
That's terrifying, dog. I'm assuming I don't have a focus on this.
You have neurology, right? I'm going to let that apply here.
Yeah. All right, and you said this is opposed?
Yes. So the base difficulty is 1. I'm spending
The
a
doctors
threat.
come back. I'm gonna go ask her about this.
I'm gonna buy an extra dice because I don't know who I'm fighting against.
Okay. So, 1 momentum down. And
Good. Keep giving me those complications, baby.
the second roll now is going to be daring security. And this is going to be opposed as well. This is going to be opposed versus Dr. Pierce.
Okay. Survive.
This is hand to hand.
Okay.
I would actually give you the neurology focus just because you may go for a Vulcan nerve pinch, but no, never mind. You rolled.
Nope.
Okay. The tie goes to you. Dudley, you grab him by the throat.
Oh, good.
And bring your left arm up and make the very, like, it's muscle memory, the wrist motion that you make. But there are no assimilation tubules. So you just make this motion, and for a moment you're confused, and then you snap back.
I do the immediately, drop back up, like the very classic, shock.
And Dr. Pierce is just, Dudley, what the hell was that?
I don't know. A flashback?
Possibly.
I'm so sorry.
No, it's not your fault. And if nothing else, it's given us some readings that we could possibly examine to see what's going on.
Well, you compile those. I'm just going to run a quick ship-wide check if that's...
All right.
So the neurologist tells me the specialty could potentially be neurology or infectious diseases. So there you go. That's the closest to official response we'll ever get. Just thought I'd tell you. I'll make her watch some more Borg episodes, and maybe we'll see if her diagnosis changes.
That's so valid. I'm gonna start scanning deck by deck, section by section, fucking room by room if I have to, for the exact internal comfort levels of a Borg vessel.
Okay, so you're searching for climate controls.
Yeah, basically looking for tachyon particles, looking for like the raised humidity and the raised temp, excluding my room because I
Okay.
know it's gonna have that.
On the bridge, Shiana, you're getting a second request from sickbay to ping the ship's internal security sensors, which is a bit abnormal.
Is this just a text or a voice message?
This is like an alert like a warning message basically on your computer, like your antivirus signatures are out of date, such and so forth, and it's basically the same nature. Like it's an automated thing. Like
Centurion
the
Dauntless
generally
has
the
requested,
sensor generally security sensors are operated from the bridge. This is the second time in about 20 minutes that there's been a request from sickbay to use the internal security systems.
If her rank's high enough, it probably lets her, but it would note it on your security log more
Yeah.
than anything
Yeah.
else.
And you would know that Dauntless doesn't usually do like is more often than not doing scans from the bridge. They rarely, unless they're seeing patients, they're generally not using the sick bay like for anything outside of sick.
All right. I guess I'm gonna do another scan.
Okay, so would
You would probably also see what I'm looking for.
Oh yeah, and also get really hip really fast to what the heck is going on.
Yeah.
Just oh, that's weird.
Yeah.
Bianca mentioned Borg.
Also, how old am I that I just said get hip to? Whatever.
still
it's
younger
oh.
than me.
It's like Bianca mentions Borg. The Borg is looking for Borg.
And now the Borg is looking for a climate of 37 degrees Celsius with 80% humidity, and you've had enough training on the Borg to know what that represents, what Dahli is looking for. So
within the ship.
So who is taking the lead on this role? I need to know.
If it's security, I will let
it would be Shiana.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it's going to be reason security. The difficulty is going to be 2, adjusted down to 1 because the Dauntless is assisting with sensors security.
What am I assisting with reason security?
You're certainly welcome to.
Okay.
And then Sarah can roll for Dauntless if she's so inclined.
Okay, what computer security again?
Sensor security.
But
Okay, so y'all are back up to 6 momentum. Scanning the ship. The hydroponics bays come close. They are 29.5 degrees Celsius, 80% humidity. There's also a section, deck 17, section 47, 37 degrees Celsius, 90% humidity. Faint tachyon signatures detected.
Fuckity! Bye! I start running.
Dahli, wait! And Pierce fails to catch you as you run out the door.
Yeah, like I'm not even bothering with the turbo lift. I'm gonna use like the nearest Jeffrey's tube. I'm running.
Now let's see. I created.
I don't know what Shiana would do in response to that.
Sickbay's on deck 7, so it's going to take you a couple of minutes to get down there. Shiana, are you?
So, the captain left, or the security?
No, they're both still there. Dahli left sickbay at a sprint, but y'all aren't down there to see it.
So, based on these readings that I found, I'm gonna talk to the captain and say we need to send security teams, armed security teams, to these locations.
do it. Arm them with TR-116s.
Absolutely.
Okay.
permission to go Borg hunting.
Good hunting. Tell me what you find.
Pulling the TR-116s out of the armory is going to be a momentum spend. It's going to be 2 momentum.
I'm good with that if everyone else is.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
do it. The Borg killing weapons, do it.
Yep.
We've seen how well they work.
Yep. Okay, so wait, so that was 2
Even if they
different
generate a
locations
shit ton of
outside of
threat.
Dali's quarters, right?
No. So there were 2 locations that register. There's one location that registered the telltale marks of Borg habitation: humidity 90%, temperature 37 degrees Celsius. The hydroponic space were close, but not quite. The hydroponic space register about 29.4 degrees Celsius and 80% humidity.
Okay, so working their way up. So it's the hydroponics bay that we're going.
I'm
Just
going
as that's
to
the one.
I'm going to the one deck
Deck
17,
17.
section.
Okay.
Yeah. Because I know how assimilation of vessels works, and
Yes.
I know that tachyon particles are probably the last thing to manifest. So the fact that they're starting to manifest is a problem.
Okay. Give me just a moment.
Wait, so Dali, have you talked to Shiana at all?
I've been in sick bay this entire time. I literally
No, but like,
got
have you
up.
messaged Shiana with the like, I'm bugging out to this?
I do not think there was any such message. No.
Nope, I literally just saw it on my console, pushed away my chair, and took off out of sick bay. And Pierce was like, "Wait!" And then I just kept running.
Well, when
And,
you all
and
wish you were
Shiana saw
paranoid
the
Romulan.
tachyon particles too, right?
Yes, those are only present on deck 17.
Okay, so Shiana's got 2 teams headed out to the hydroponic space and then to deck 17.
Okay.
Since I do have the advantage, increased internal sensors or whatever, do I know what's going on? Or at least in regards to doop, I'm doing my job, and suddenly there are tachyon particles on deck 17. Unless I installed a tachyon emitter, I'm thinking that's weird.
I'm going to say no, because it's your internal sensors were set up to detect Borg life signs.
I will specifically, and I'm going to challenge you only in regard, as I did make mention that was focused yet general. Now, I'm going to let you, by naming, I forget what I named previously. So how about this? Here's the halfway point. Can I get a roll?
Yeah, we can do that.
Yeah,
what would you like to roll?
Yeah, rather than, just whatever.
Actually, you know what?
Science or...
No, better than a roll, because the rolls have been done. Y'all have detected this, and information sharing is such among the crew. I'm going to say that you are aware of this one way or another.
Yeah, and I'm paranoid, hell, and I'm sure when security...
You're seeing Shanna pull out a fuck gun.
Yeah, if she pulls out whatever the hell it is.
Is Shiana leaving the bridge?
Oh yeah, Shiana's going Borg hunting.
Okay, so yeah, Shiana pulled a TR-116 out of the armory and hit the turbo lift. So you know something's fucky.
When Shiana said this, Bianca hit the big red button on her chair. We're at red alert.
Okay.
Oh, well, that sounds like
that lets pretty much everyone on the ship know something's going on.
Gotcha. Then I will. I'll scan internal sensors. Obviously, looking for anything suspicious. I would like my advantage to reduce the difficulty of the roll.
Absolutely.
Cool.
So this is going to be sensor security for the Dauntless. It is going to be reason security for you.
Sounds good. It's like I'm suddenly very good at security now that everyone knows what I can actually do.
The difficulty I'm going to set at 1, and that's reduced from 2. So...
Okay. Does sensor operations apply, I assume?
Yes, it does.
Gotcha. We're just going to go ahead and roll with what we got.
Okay.
Sounds good. So this is... Okay, cool. Roll here. 2, and then whatever the ship got, if someone wants to roll for it, or I can.
Sarah, you
I
got it?
think
Yeah. What are we doing?
We're doing sensor security again.
Okay.
And if it fails, I can raise them. Will you please re-roll that, please?
Okay.
Cool.
So once again, you all are at 6 momentum. The ship's,
Gotcha.
Your internal scan confirms Dauntless's reading of signature traits of a Borg presence on deck 17, section 47. The temperature matches, the humidity matches. There is a faint resonance of a Tetryon signature. There is, however, no Borg life sign except for Dauntless.
Captain, I'm detecting what appears to be a situation prime for Borg infiltration in deck 17, section whatever it was. However, I'm only detecting the doctor in that area.
Something's going on. I don't know what it is. But if she's down there, it's got to be something.
Should I engage
Tell
internal
Shiana,
force fields?
tell Shiana to lead her team there.
Gotcha. Commander Darrow, I will lead the information to her, i.e. giving her the info of like, this is what's up ahead, yada, yada, yada. So.
Okay. So that section of the that section of the ship, Shiana, is let me pull up the high resolution version of the multi-system display.
Can you share it?
Yes, hang on. I will share it if it's not too big to share.
Too hip to be square.
Oh, by the way, Don, I put in the chat channel, but
yes.
I also have alerted the Valkyrie and Jar's medical.
The Curiosity, yep.
Yeah, I've just kind of notified everybody in the area, like, hey, be on the lookout for Borg things.
I mean, yeah, that's a good idea.
Well, she learned her lesson from not communicating when the holo emitters went down.
Right. Okay, so deck 17 is right around where the Dauntless's neck meets the secondary hull. It's about a deck below that. Just for reference purposes. Section 47 is in a Jeffries tube. It's a few meters away from one of the primary computer core network connections.
That's nice.
And yeah, this section is tucked away behind Jeffries tubes and such, so it's not a walk in the park.
Yay. So much fun.
So how would you like to proceed?
Knowing that, Bianca's going to set up security force fields around the main computer core.
The main computer core is a fairly good distance away. The secondary computer core is about 4 decks beneath.
Right. Well, just in case.
Okay.
So what do I see when I get to this Jeffries tube?
So when you navigating through this Jeffries tube, you get into this area, and it looks like it has been inhabited, Duffley.
Good.
There's an alcove. There's a regeneration alcove here. There are several pieces of what you recognize as drone maintenance equipment.
Good. Great. Good. I'm gonna make my way over to the alcove and access its data entry and regeneration files and like basically pull the like dump the memory of this.
I'm gonna be asking her in team conference updates. the way I see it in the narrative, she's
Oh.
like, I see a regeneration outcome, so I have constant update of what's happening. That's what I would help with. She wants to specifically.
I don't know if you're there. I don't know if you're there.
Still on the
I mean,
bridge.
via comms. Like, you know,
Okay,
Oh,
Dali
military
is not
update.
communicating with anybody at the moment.
Okay.
Plus,
okay.
we're picking up some background noise from your headset too, by the way.
Yeah, or your headset came out and you are speaking into your computer mic. But, yeah. I'm gonna dump the memory of this thing.
Okay.
Teach me who you be.
Give me
Drone.
a control security. And this is once again going to be contested.
Oh god.
I am spending a
Love
here.
that. I'm going to spend 2 momentum to gain a focus for this
Okay.
and increase my complication range.
Okay.
So you said control security difficulty is opposed.
Correct. The base difficulty is 1.
Cool.
You know
okay.
what I should have had Yolan install on this ship after the last Borg incursion?
Borg spray?
should have had him install a fucking STI for Borgs on this ship. In fact, I'm gonna ask him to do that after this. Motherfuckers are getting sneaky.
Dali, you attempt to uplink with this alcove and find you're not able to. It's specifically denying you access.
Well, good.
You also hear something. You also hear something clunking a few meters off.
I don't have a weapon with me. Oh, I'm smart. Oh, she's being stupid right now. I'm gonna go look at the noise.
Okay.
Oh no.
In the meantime, how far is Shiana's team out from this?
You have started to navigate the Jeffries tubes, and you hear something going on in the direction that you're headed.
Super fun. So are these like crawling Jeffries tubes or like laddered Jeffries tubes? Like
this is a crawl space. It's a little bit wider than the crawl spaces on the Enterprise were because Dauntless is larger, frankly. Like it's not claustrophobic cramped, like tuck your breath in and do that, but
it's not quite like army style crawl either. It's more like walk on your hands and knees.
Bingo.
Okay, super fun. Super glad to be having to use my hands and not have them on my weapon, but it's cool.
Unless, I mean, there's one of two ways you could do this. You could have the weapon on your back, or you could have it on your hands as you're crawling through this.
Like, yeah, so that's what Shiana's
doing.
Shiana's got it in her hands, but also, like, is there a way with the way this is laid out, the Jeffries tubes, for me to set my team for us to come, like, from multiple directions, or at least 2 directions?
Yeah, that's doable. Someone opened up the Jeffries tube basically on the opposite side, and you all are approaching from 2 separate directions.
Perfect.
But whatever you heard is coming towards your tube.
Cool.
Give me an insight security roll. Difficulty here is going to be 2.
Okay. Any of my focuses apply?
Let me look at your focuses, and I will.
I do have ground tactics. That one's usually good.
Yeah, we'll that or composure. Either one of those would apply here.
Composure? That's never a good roll. Usually means you're gonna see some fuck shit.
But you made the difficulty. you see something gleam as like the glint of metal as it's approaching you in the Jeffries tube, Shiana, and you are about to bring your rifle up when you when you realize it's Dathli's arm, and she is heading back out towards you.
Shit, Centurion!
Commander.
Dathli!
Commander. I apologize if I startled you. I was unaware that you were doing security drills at the moment.
This isn't a drill.
You detected my scans.
I ran the scans that were requested from sickbay and saw the same readings that I assume you saw that brought you here.
So far, I haven't seen anything.
You haven't what?
I haven't seen anything. It seems to just be an atmospheric change.
Nevertheless, my team and I will do a full sweep, considering what the scans showed. Maybe you should head back to medical?
This all started because I had a nightmare. It would relieve me greatly just to ensure that my own peace of mind is met. I'd like to do my own.
Centurion, you do not have a weapon on you right now. I need you to go back to medical.
I'm perfectly capable of defending myself.
I know that. Let me do my job.
You are several floors up. It is impossible for you to do your job from there.
Working on it, okay?
However, I will allow you to take your scan. I just would feel better if I was also taking part.
Fine. Here, and Shiana tosses her phaser in Dathli's direction. You've got a weapon.
It just sort of clatters down the Jeffries tube.
Dawn, what is in between Shiana and I? How many floors or how many sections?
Y'all are in the same tube. It's horizontal, so it's just a couple.
Oh.
About 3 meters.
Oh, okay. Can I ascertain that the clunking I was hearing was Shiana then?
Yes.
Okay, because I was like, where was the clunking coming from?
That was coming from Shiana in her TR-116, and the security team coming from the other direction, and all of that's just sort of echoing around.
I will pick up the phaser and back out of the Jeffries tube.
Okay.
Or back out of the way so that they can come down. I'm trying to not conspicuously, but I'm totally conspicuously trying to block the alcove behind me.
Shiana, give me an insight security check.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
I'm gonna set the difficulty here at 1.
Oh, no. You don't even have, I don't even want you to roll, because it's, comically bad. It's just, my arms are, spread in a way, and I'm, when a kid tries to,
well, we got
hide.
We got 2 momentum off of it anyway, so
right.
Let's just keep it rolling.
Yeah.
That's fine.
I did add the momentum from that roll, and it's exactly as Dathli describes. It's like a kid trying to keep you away from the cookie jar, Shiana. The nothing to see here Keystone Cop thing. And it's adorable and frustrating because right now the thing you want more than anything else in the world is for Dali to get the hell out of your way.
So Shiana scoots up closer to where Daphne is, I don't know, guarding
And the two of you are
secret.
facing opposite directions. So so Dali is like starts to crawl up like she's going to try and crawl past you. And the two of you slowly are starting to get tangled up in each other.
Commander.
Sorry, Steph, can you repeat that?
Oh, I just said commander and like kind of like ooped my way into.
Shiana pretty like quickly extricates herself. It's okay, Centurion. You know, like Shiana's got moves, I guess.
Yeah.
Still trying to like childishly block Shanna from seeing the alcove, by the way.
So what's back there?
Nothing.
And right then is when you get a communique from one of your other security team members, Shiana. Commander, you've got to come see this.
Oh no.
On my way.
I'm following Shanna.
Okay. So you all, after a little bit of wrestling in the midst of the Jeffries tube, you basically go out and then come back in, going the same direction. You make it into this alcove, and it is exactly as Dahli saw it. There's a Borg regeneration alcove in place. There is equipment used for maintaining and modifying a Borg drone. The only thing that isn't there is a Borg, with the exception of Dahli. I'm going to swap up to the bridge here real fast.
I just imagine the slow head turn to like look at me.
Right? Everybody just kind of turning their head. They'd be doing the eyebrow raise if they could, but none of them are Vulcan.
Yeah.
And Bianca, you're getting another incoming communique from the Marigolda Ross.
On screen.
Captain, we may have a situation here. The Voludan and Ciatina are moving into orbit of the former Ciatina homeworld.
And?
Well, and Captain, if I didn't know better, I'd say they plan to stay a while. We did some readings, and there's at least 2 million colonists aboard that Ciatina ship. Another 500,000 Voludan.
Any idea where they came from?
We have a trajectory, but as far as we knew, Captain, that was not a Ciatina colony world, so we're kind of at a loss.
I need something more concrete than this. Like...
Aye, ma'am. We'll see what we can get you.
Alright, Dauntless out.
Okay, back down into that hallway. Or that Jeffries tube, rather.
Where Shiana turns to Dahli and says, Dahli, any readings that you were able to pick up? Any information or data?
it seems to lock out my attempts. It is potentially adapting every time I try something, or perhaps my memory is foggy. But there's no presence of a drone anywhere on the ship.
Can you disable the alcove?
If I did so, we would potentially lose all of its memory content.
All right, let's get an engineering team up here. I want any data that we can get from this.
Shiana, you may actually be able to hack into this thing. It would be a control security role.
Oh, cool. Ha!
I would set the difficulty at 3, but I am going to allow Dauntless to assist.
Okay.
Okay, so, well, let's give this a go. And I'm going to take a momentum as well.
Okay. Four successes, nice. Okay. Shiana, you are able to access information from the regeneration alcove with your tricorder. It is very mundane and frankly a little bit difficult to decipher, but you do recognize at least one piece of text that repeats itself with fairly alarming regularity. 19 of 30, secondary adjunct of Unimatrix 652.
Oh, God.
Can Dali see this, or is it just me?
It's on your tricorder. Do you want to share it with Dali?
No.
Okay.
I hate you.
I love you. This is why I do this.
This is getting me back for not for trying to hide the alcove. It's
Okay, well, this is interesting. Shanna looks to her other security personnel. Let's do more thorough sweep. Make sure that this is the only thing we've got here. I've got the data. Let's have someone from engineering come down and dismantle it. Or at least power it down.
Dudley, give me a control command check.
good.
I'm spending a threat, and this is going to be opposed.
Do I have a focus?
You do not.
May I buy an extra dice?
You've got a floating momentum, so I'd say yes. So, okay, you succeed. Actually get a couple floating momentum out of that. You resist the urge to tear the tricorder away from Shiana.
Mm-hmm.
And manage to do so well enough that it's like one of those, stick your cat in the dryer. I'm not going to do that. Like,
yeah. No, thank you.
Immediately dismissed intrusive thought. As Shiana's basically calling down to main engineering for a team to come up, and you can hear Dash saying, "Well, that explains why the temperature was off kilter up there." And you guys didn't actually find a Borg?
Nope. Nothing.
Weird.
So, yeah, so just keep an eye out. But let's get this thing K-13'd, huh?
Yeah. I don't know what a K-13 is except for the space station, but yeah.
I meant like file 13. Fuck me. I don't even know what I'm saying anymore.
Do I feel anything towards this particular alcove, like a possessiveness?
Insight command this time, but once again opposed. Yes and no. Like
Interesting. Okay.
there is like this dim background, like precious, but you're not entirely sure if that's you or not you, if that makes sense. Like, you're not sure if you're feeling that way because it's Borg technology and you kind of want to like you feel like you should have the ability and the right to study it, or if there's something more urgent there.
Cool. Okay. I will hand the commander back her phaser. I will be in sickbay, ensuring that I am once again not some sort of temporal anomaly.
Please keep me up to date.
All I need is to have another temporal integration, at which point there's a mathematics joke in there, but
Well, so far we haven't seen any of
Done so many
the
temporal
signs of-
integrations, you've calculated your own volume.
So far we haven't seen the signs of temporal problems. Okay? Right?
so far.
So far. So let's just say so far so good.
I just have no way of discerning how a alcove would appear. This is not the one I left in the cargo. At least as not as I'm aware, as Lieutenant Cardin and I dismantled parts of it.
Then I'll be looking into that as well.
Perhaps do a Sorry, go ahead.
Sorry, do a what?
No, I said go ahead because I interrupted you.
No, we'll figure this out. That's what I'm here to do. I'm here to protect this ship and everyone on it, and that includes you. And you need to go back to sickbay. Let Dr. Pierce take care of you.
Okay. And I leave. Sorry, I will return to Dr. Pierce.
So Shiana, that leaves you with your security team in the alcove after Dahli has left.
All right, you two stay here, wait for engineering. I'm taking what's his face over here. I'm not good at making up names on the fly, people.
Me neither.
Sorry. We're gonna finish.
Ensign Holstein.
Ensign Holstein.
Oh, nice.
Holstein and I are gonna finish our sweep. And then we're gonna dig into some internal sensor logs, figure out what happened. did I send a second team to the hydroponics bay?
Let's say that you did, because you had mentioned on a couple of occasions that you were going to.
Yeah, so I'm gonna call them and ask them to report in.
Security Team 2 Alpha here, Commander. We haven't found anything out of the ordinary.
Just those environmental settings?
It's not out of line from what you'd expect from a greenhouse, ma'am.
All right, we'll double check with engineering and make sure that they're exactly what the hydroponics base should be set at. And we'll call this one a wash for now.
Aye, aye.
So Shiana and Holstein are gonna finish their little sweep of this area.
Okay.
These Jeffries tubes on 17.
Mm-hmm.
And then I'm taking my tricorder data to Bianca.
Okay. You don't find anything else out of place in the Jeffries tubes. It was that one particular area. Didn't seem to be anything outside of it. So we will go back up to the bridge.
Bianca's gonna like pour over the data, and she said, "Tachyons."
Captain, I don't know if there's another temporal anomaly at play here with Dahli, but this is definitely our own Borg on this ship giving us
But you said that there was a Borg
problems.
alcove
There's a
on
Borg
deck
alcove, and Dahli said she couldn't access it. But then here's all of this data with 19 of 30 all over it. Something's going on.
Stand down,
But
Rudder.
I don't think it's external. I think
Maybe it is. The Voludin.
external how? Oh, those fuckers. Look, Shiana really doesn't like temporal shenanigans.
Right? And Bianca's just gonna go to yellow alert. And then she tells the helmsman to set a course for the Ciatina system.
Aye, aye, Captain. Setting a course.
Maybe inform the Borg. Hey, batten down your shit, because it's probably gonna get weird.
The ship has actually stood down from red alert to yellow alert. FYI.
Oh, that's...
But
Like, if
Bianca
anything,
is
that
going
indicates
to-
shit is slightly less weird. Sorry, go ahead.
Bianca is going to send like an FYI to Dali because of their previous sensitivity to temporal shenanigans. That we're going to be dealing with the Voludin.
I will acknowledge it. I will make a... I'm gonna make something for Jonas, even though Jonas is an NPC tonight. I'm gonna make something for Jonas because I don't want him to have a or as small of a headache as possible. And then, I'm gonna remove my prosthesis and make sure that everything's cool because my arm was hurting in the dream, and I'm nervous.
Okay. Give me a control medicine check.
Oh, good. I have to roll for this.
Let me see. This is going to be opposed.
Good.
Neurology focus applies.
Oh, good.
I'm burning another threat.
I would like a momentum spend, please.
Okay. Done. Nicely done. Okay.
Amazing roll.
2 natural ones and a 4.
You push past a sense of disorientation almost. as you're working on the arm, for a second, you feel a flashback to your earlier dream where you were working on it and nothing was right.
Yep.
But you push through that, and managed to accomplish what it was you were setting out to do.
I'm assuming Pierce is still like milling around the.
Yeah, he's doing administrative stuff.
I'm just gonna look at him.
What is it, Dauntless?
Anxiety is an awful thing. I don't enjoy this feeling.
No, it's descended from our original flight or fight responses, but there's not as much need for it as there used to be.
I just find myself second guessing everything at the moment, and I don't enjoy it. I would rather just do my work and be left.
That's entirely understandable. This will get better.
Yeah, and I'm just gonna kind of go through my routine of calming down my OC.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so as you were doing that, how are you guys? How fast are you guys looking to get to the Ciatina system? Like, what kind of alacrity are you doing this with?
Well, how long would it take at warp versus slipstream?
At maximum warp, about 6 hours.
Now, let's do slipstream.
Okay. In that case, I will play the slipstream noise while I prepare the map. Because despite hoping that you all would end up...
And obviously I'm telling them the Marigold that we're coming, so that we're not like, boom, giant starship.
Right. FYI, it is the Marigolda Ross is the ship you've been communicating. Yeah, that's the ship you've been communicating with. So, just one more moment, and I will be ready.
Dawn just expected us to stay like circling the same small area of space and didn't have a map.
Well, the good news is it never takes me very long to either admit defeat or to actually set something up. And yeah, the Marigold of Ross would have heard y'all coming, sensors wise. Hey, giant slipstream blip. It must be the Dauntless. Or else someone else we really ought to know about.
Yeah, I would have let them know before we became a giant red flag on their sensor.
Right. So, incidentally, Marigold of Ross is the first known Native American female engineer and the first female engineer in the history of Lockheed.
Oh, that's cool.
Yep, she was a member of the Cherokee Nation, according to her biography on NASA.gov. A mathematician and engineer whose role in America's space age is largely unknown. After earning a master's degree in 1938, she moved to California in 1941 and worked on the P-38 Lightning. Wrote a number of professional and theoretical works and was one of the authors of the NASA Planetary Flight Handbook Volume 3 about space travel to Mars and Venus.
That's so cool. I love when you come up with cool scientists for the ship name.
So, I'm going to reorient my camera now that I'm sitting up straight. Dauntless is in the system along with the Marigolda Ross, and yeah, as you can see, a large and I mean city-sized, colony ship. 2 of them, in fact. One of very clearly Ciatina make. The other, by way of deduction, would be Veludin.
Okay. And what do we get in terms of scans?
Okay. Rye, let's have you do the requisite roll, if you please.
All right. It up here. Hold on, it's loading.
No problem.
All right. I'm
It's
scanning.
going to be, yep, it's
Reason
going to
and
be Reason
Science, I assume?
Science.
All right.
I'm going to set the difficulty at 2, down from 3. And the Dauntless is going to assist with Sensor Science.
All right, I'll go ahead and roll it there. Boom. Let the ship roll, and I get to re-roll one of them.
Mm-hmm.
Is someone rolling for the ship, or do we need me?
I think someone will get it here. Sarah, you got it?
Yeah, what are we rolling?
Sensor Science.
Cool. Boom.
2 successes.
I'm gonna roll my two.
Reroll your
what was my
0.
difficulty?
Your
what's my
difficulty was
difficulty?
2, so you made it.
You know what? That's fine. We're already capped out on momentum,
Yep.
so there's no need to risk.
A complication.
So good
Yep,
enough.
that's fair.
Yeah, whatever.
So,
The job is done.
in addition to the Veludin and Ciatina ships, you do manage to pick up their vector of origin. And
Mhm.
here's the thing. According to the existing charts of the Carina Nebula sector, that the system that they came from is... hang on. Is DSS 056, which is a Zealand colony.
And the Zealands are the one. That was the one that the other ship was trying to infect with.
Yeah, the Zealand are the angry wasps, basically.
Gotcha. But
So-
that was
so-
who Sloan / was trying to infect.
Yeah, but realistically speaking, there's no way a Ciatina colony ship would have come from a Zealand outpost.
Gotcha. So if they did, so if I'm being super paranoid, which it sounds like I might be a little beyond what we need, is maybe they were infected and now these guys have joined up. Anyway, Captain, it seems our friends did not originate from where we'd expect them to. They originated from a colony, and I'll pull it up there. The Veludin did arrive from a say the alien name again. I always butcher
From the Zealand.
from a Zealand colony, approximately, and I put it up on the screen.
I guess we're just gonna have to ask if we want answers, aren't we?
Indeed.
Open a channel to the lead Ciatina ship.
Aye, Captain.
This is the Ciatina ship Homecoming. USS Dauntless responding to your hail. How may we be of service?
Oh, just checking in. That's a pretty large colony ships you got there.
It is, and we're extremely proud of it.
As you should be. It's a feat of engineering. I didn't realize that you had so many colonists.
And presence command check, Bianca.
Okay.
Set the difficulty here at 2.
I'm going to take a momentum for cautious.
Okay.
And would my diplomacy focus apply.
Absolutely.
All right. Earn that momentum back.
Nicely done. It is. We are pleased. We are highly grateful to the Veludin for assisting in its construction.
I see. Well, I wasn't talking about the colony ship. I didn't realize you had so many colonists, is what I said. Is that...
Oh, sorry. Let me rephrase in that case. It's frankly a miracle, and one that we are prepared to accept rather than to question.
I see. Well, if there's anything we can do to help. And Bianca is going to try and get a read telepathically of like what's actually going on.
Okay. Telepathically, I will tell you that there are things that the Ciatina captain is not sharing with you. He is not being completely forthright with you.
Well, yes, that I would be able to tell. Just
that
I did not need to be telepathic to figure that out.
Well, you know, Deanna kind of needed to be empathic to figure that out sometimes. Like, she's like, he's hiding something, and Picard's like, no shit, Deanna, you think?
Unnecessarily dense sometimes. I'm just saying.
Yeah. He does respond.
No, I'm wanting to get in there and really figure out what's going on.
How in there are we talking about?
Like, I want to do a quick like grab and go of like information. Like, if to get something I can go on.
Warning: Star Trek Dauntless contains adult content.
No. Like, I just want to get something that I can lead on. Like, I don't want to do a big, deep probe of the memory because that's going to be very obvious.
Right.
Probably.
So you're stopping at the come and go in this guy's mind.
Right. I mean, I want to probe his mind, but I don't want to like put the fingers on the sides of my temples and stare intently. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Like, not Babylon 5ing it here.
Let's do Control Command here.
Right.
And I'm going to set the difficulty at 3.
Okay, I'm going to take another momentum.
Okay. Also, I think River's getting high off the Kit Kat wrappers.
Oh no. And would my composure focus apply?
Yes.
Okay. Boom.
Nicely done. Knows the expectations and sets out to overachieve. He doesn't know how these Ciatina colonists came to be here necessarily, if that makes sense. Like, they turned up with the Veludin.
Right. So it's not like malicious. He's just kind of like, they're here, yay!
Basically, yes.
I don't know how.
They're here now. Don't say anything because it'll ruin the surprise.
I don't know where any of these people came from, and I could have sworn 2/3 of them, like there are some among that crew of colonists that this captain thought were supposed to be dead.
Right. So when he's saying that it's a miracle, he
means it's literally a miracle to him.
Yeah, he's telling the truth. He's not saying, "Oh, it's a miracle." Like,
mm-hmm.
He's saying he's legit, like, thinking it. Okay.
Yes.
All right. Well, and she just kind of closes with, "Well, anything we can do to help."
It's going to take us a while to settle back in, Captain. If you wouldn't mind lending us assistance with security arrangements and maybe some spare sets of hands to help us resettle.
Of course, I can make arrangements once we gauge the Voludin's needs as well.
Of course. We did agree, Captain, there were billions of us before we were exterminated. There's plenty of space for the Voludin, and we've agreed to share part of our homeworld with them as well.
Of course, we haven't done much study on the Voludin. They're a species out of time. I didn't realize that they needed space.
They needed a homeworld. They lost theirs, which I guess is part of the reason they're unstuck in the first place. But as a species that's lost its homeworld, we are in a unique position to help each other out.
Of course. And in the Federation, we appreciate interspecies cooperation, for sure. We'll be in further contact. Dauntless out.
Understood.
And I'm gonna hail the lead Voludin ship. Hey. Like, okay, that's their story. What's your story?
Okay, so the lead Voludin ship appears to acknowledge your hail and starts moving closer to intercept the Dauntless. Reaches about 50...
Back up for now.
What's that?
Dauntless is not backing up for now.
Yeah. They reach about... They get, like, very close enough to establish a tractor beam, and do exactly that. Establish a tractor beam lock on the Dauntless. Which, from your... What's that? And that's their method of answering the hail. Once the tractor beam is established, they respond via the tractor beam, like via the patterns playing out.
I remember that, right.
We are and have been the Voludin. How may we assist?
This is the USS Dauntless. We were just noticing your activity in the system. And we're just coming to check in. See if we may be of service.
Do you recall when we will ask the Dauntless to help us find a new homeworld?
Yes, we have been supplying your people with our sky surveys.
We were thankful, and your sky surveys will give us the information.
I'm glad to hear that they were useful. Our scans indicate that you came from a Zealand's inhabited system.
It will be the closest point to Ciatina where we could become stuck.
I think I understand. I have a question. There have been tachyon particles on board my ship. We have been near the sector.
You think our presence may have been responsible?
It was just unexplainable, and I'm just looking for any leads. I'm not trying to place blame or anything.
maybe scan your ship.
And Bianca's she's affirmative.
And it you so the Voludan ship conducts an intense scan, like one of those not quite V'ger level, but like the kind that lights up the entire bridge with the scanning beam and whatnot.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, like we put our face on a scanner. Yeah.
Yeah. The after a moment it fades, and the Voludan captain replies, We did not detect tachyon particles aboard your ship. If we will cause any inconvenience, Captain, we apologize profusely. It will not be our intent.
I don't think it would be either. We got word that you had appeared, and at the same time I had tachyon particles on my ship. It was probably a coincidence.
We have been known to accidentally cause tachyon bursts. We hoped that once we will settle, these incidents might become less commonplace.
Did you find these Ciatina colonists when you became unstuck?
Yes.
And like Bianca kind of shares like a glance with Shiana.
Oh yeah. Coincidence my ass, says Shiana's face.
Well, if we can offer any assistance, we'd be glad to do so.
We will confer with this Ciatina and have worked with them to make arrangements.
Of course. Dauntless out. Oh, and can I read his mind before I close the channel?
You can certainly
Oh.
try.
Oh, that's a headache, Bianca. Don't do it.
It's going to be Insight Command. I'm going to make the Are you looking for something specific or just trying surface thoughts?
I'm just kind of trying to get something to go off of, like I did with the Ciatina captain.
Okay, I'm setting the difficulty here at 5.
Jesus. I don't know if it's worth.
They're not normal boys. Don't do it.
Go ahead and roll a complication for me.
I don't know. I'm trying to figure out how hard I want to try. I'm just gonna buy a momentum for cautious.
Okay.
And then use my composure focus.
Okay, so mathematically unlikely, but still possible. I'm going to spend 2 threat to increase your complication range to 3.
Well, fine then. Alright. Come on, big money. Okay. It just was not gonna happen. That's
Nope. There are... His mind is still too unstuck to read. You're not sure if you're reading him his childhood. It's kind of like if you were trying to do a mind read on Ant-Man while he was going through the Avengers time machine.
Right.
Like, you're not sure which one you're reading, and one of them may have pissed his pants. I'm making that last part up, but you get the idea.
I get the Ant-Man reference. Okay. Let's see here.
What you got?
Bianca's just gonna sit back in her chair and just like kind of steeple her fingers, like, and put them under her chin and just kind of like sit there for a moment and exhale, like with her lips doing the flappy thing, like. She's just like, there's some temporal fuckery going on here, and I don't think the Voluden are meaning to cause it.
Is Shiana at her station or
she's...
in the chair? Like,
where would you
so
prefer to be? Because that chair might be awfully uncomfortable.
yeah. So no, I'm thinking that she's probably like at her station.
This is kind of like a Bianca kind of throwing this to the wind, so like anybody who's on the bridge can reply.
So it's not a rhetorical question.
I mean, it's kind of one of those open-ended type things.
So it could be entirely unmalicious and just coincidental. But somehow when they reached back through time and grabbed this many Ciatina, they also reached back through time and grabbed 19 of 30.
Or something related to them. I don't.
Or something related to 19. But something that is affecting...
like I said, I don't think they purposefully did.
No, I don't think so either.
There is still the matter of the ship's internal security logs.
Oh yes, did I have somebody on that? Or was I going to do that myself?
I think you were probably going to do that yourself. It's what it sounded like.
Yeah,
It was...
yes. Okay, because I'm that person. If you want it done right, you have to do it yourself.
Well, you haven't learned the secrets of delegation yet, but now that you are also a first officer, they will come.
Okay, cool. Yeah, so now would be a time to see if I can figure out, like from a cursory kind of like sensory input, like when this change might have happened, and then see if I can get see if I can see video of something happening.
Okay, so let's make it a reason security roll. The difficulty is going to be 2. The Dauntless is going to assist with sensor security, and that 2 is reduced from 3.
Can I say that by now I have sufficiently entertained my paranoia and I'm on the bridge?
Yes.
Like, I'm now, like, arriving on the bridge.
I would also assist the first officer in her being paranoid security checks because, you know, it's what I do.
Yeah, cool. I mean, I think an extra head on this would be great.
Okay.
I will roll reason plus security as well.
Yep.
Incidentally, I'm very, very good at security.
And your Way of the Darrow talent applies here.
Awesome. Even better.
So there's 3.
And then what's the ship roll?
Ship is rolling sensor security.
You got that, Sarah?
Yeah.
It's like, I guess.
I was not paying attention for like a split second.
Oh, it's fine. Okay, so no love from Dauntless, but everybody else...
So
yep. That's all right. You gain a momentum. Shiana, you start looking through internal security logs and find a video, and you bring it up on your security monitor, or on your little security station monitor. You watch as Dahli opens up this Jeffrey tube and crawls in at one point. During her off-duty hours, actually, like during the middle of Gamma shift when she's usually asleep. There are no cameras that go inside the Jeffries tube itself, but you don't see her emerge for several hours. Like, you fast forward, and it's almost almost 8 hours later that she emerges.
A full regeneration cycle, one could argue.
Is it possible that the Centurion is sleepwalking?
Some form of it, at least. Captain, I
curious.
hate to say this, but I think we might need to get the Department of Temporal Investigations involved.
Another thing we might want to consider, too, is we should perhaps review the doctor's evening activities to see if this is something she's been doing over a certain amount of time, or to see if there's anything that triggered it. Next question
given the successes that you had, I can tell you this has been a repeating pattern.
Gotcha. So,
Oh, good. For how long?
Approximately 6 weeks.
Good.
I'm curious, because we do not have any in-depth security systems in place there to observe what she is doing. If we allowed the Centurion to do this one more time to see how this material is being developed, is she assimilating part of the ship? Is she pulling it through a temporal? That we don't know.
No, I think the better question is, when did the Ciatina and the Voluden appear with their colony ships?
If the Ciatina are perhaps, as we believe, relatively innocent or not malicious in this attempt,
I'm not saying
perhaps
they're
they are
malicious,
willing-
but if we can line up the timeline, then we
perhaps
can
they'd be
say
willing
this
to
was
share
caused
that
by the
information
Voluden.
with us. Perhaps we could get them to share this information with us.
Yes, exactly. Let's just ask the question.
What question?
We want to know when the Voluden and the Ciatina appeared out of nowhere, out of time, into the current time and place.
You realize that to the Voluden, that's going to be extremely relative, right?
So maybe we ask the Ciatina.
Or you ask the Mary Golda Ross, who has the sensor logs for the entire time.
Yeah, that's what I'm
Even
gonna do. I'm
better.
gonna send them a text message.
Yep,
Why
even
don't we
better.
ask everyone?
Be
We'll
like,
just ask everyone.
no.
Because, when you got the message from the Mary Golda Ross was when those ships appeared.
Right.
Oh, so
That's
today.
much more recent than 6 weeks.
Much more recent.
But the tachyons were still on board at the same time that that's when we detected the tachyons anyway.
Yeah, but apparently.
Are you thinking tachyons or tetrions?
Tetrions. Did we have Okay, we called them several different things. What?
Yeah, no, that was my bad. I called them tachyons. I meant to say
Were they tetrions or tachyons or
They were tetrions.
tetrions? Okay. Well, when the tetrions appeared on the ship,
Was
that's when.
those might have been around longer. You first scanned for them after the Ciatina and Voluden appeared.
Right. But can we were the tetrions on the ship for 6 weeks, or were they on the ship for just a few hours ago? Like, can we tell by how they're decaying? Like, how long they were on the...
Nice little bit of science technobabble there. Yes, based on the rate of tetrion decay, you can gather that the tetrion residuals have been present on the ship for at least 6 weeks.
So it wasn't the Voluden.
And how long? I'm not hearing this. I'm not hearing this because this is happening on the other side of the very large bridge.
Right.
But how long have I been having nightmares? I'm guessing about 6 weeks.
About 6 weeks.
So
and you haven't been
what
remembering your
was
sleep most of the rest of the time.
so what was Dauntless doing 6 weeks ago?
Can I have all of the sensor data for the past 6 weeks from all the ships in the task force? Please go to Rise console. Go to Rise console.
And Rye, you start getting this flood of information. And
Yes.
I'm going to have the Marigold or Ross make a roll here. Actually, no, I'm going to have the Dauntless do it.
I must admit, I do like Rye's idea of following me when I'm apparently sleepwalking because I just want to see Rye and Shanna tiptoeing through Star Trek decks after me.
Right?
I
like
was
Inspector
thinking
Clouseau.
like just planting camera, but you know.
Oh no, Shanna would be like, yeah, I'm gonna be watching this shit up front, like close and personal.
So,
I was thinking of just visiting her.
I am
all clan Mike and
yeah.
Slapping a camera on her or something.
I'm going to ask y'all to spend 2 momentum to create an advantage so that for part of this narrative, if that's all right with you guys.
Yeah.
Okay, so going back through Dauntless's sensor logs, it looks like the Dauntless first picked up a blip of that Borg Unimatrix approximately 6 weeks ago.
Oh, good.
Good.
So okay, this is what Bianca's gonna do. About the Volutin situation, like, she's going to ping DTI about it.
Mm-hmm.
Like, hey, this is what we know. This is what I got from the Ciatina and from the Volutin. This is what we know. This is what we suspect, but we have, like, no proof.
Okay, so
Like,
so you get a response almost instantly because DTI has an agent assigned to the Carina Nebula sector, one you've worked with before.
Probably
because of everything, because of the temporal vortexes, because of the way that this nebula came about.
Right.
and this is an agent you worked with before, so you receive a response fairly quickly from one senior agent, Claude Lavoie. Says, Bianca, hadn't heard anything about the Volutin lately, but knowing them, I will probably hear about them in about 2 weeks, and it'll be 3 weeks too late to do something about it. But I did get something for your eyes only that arrived on my desk about, well, yesterday.
Yesterday?
Yeah. Hey, next time you're at the in the Fellathrine system, come pick it up.
Will do. Although, I don't know when that's going to be, because, I mean, we're out here looking for a rogue Defiant class, and I've got the Volutin, and now I've got Borg shenanigans, potentially, so, you know.
Just another day in the Carina Nebula.
Never a dull moment.
Well, as long as you're in the right timeline, and so far I think you are. Actually, you better do a quantum signature scan and let me know just to be safe.
We have quantum sensors on board the Dauntless. Because of the whole mirror universe incident. Yeah.
Right. And that temporally shielded data core hasn't pinged you lately, right?
Not that I know of, although it would be worth checking out.
Well, those angles are why they pay me the big money. And by the big money, I mean nothing. I still have fun most of the time.
Deep Space Nine.
Thank goodness.
Not anymore, at least.
It's probably only a matter of time before we get some smart-ass Ferengi out here, though. Anyway, I need to get back to it.
Same.
All right, DTI out.
All right. I'm just going to have Dash go take a look at the data core. Like, nothing overly formal, just like, hey, can you go check that thing?
Can you swing by just
Can you
check?
check the convenient plot device?
So that is where we will end it for this week. Ending without a cliffhanger.
No tiptoeing after me.
Oh yeah, that's not a cliffhanger at all.